Welcome back, all my MMA fans. Today I'm going to be giving you guys my predictions for UFC 301. If this video only gets like 10 views, I honestly wouldn't be that surprised. I don't think a lot of people are actually going to be watching UFC 301, but I thought I would cover it anyways because there are a lot of underrated fights on this card. Now, we can't be spoiled children. I know we just got UFC 299 and 300 back-to-back. Those were both amazing fight cards, so this one, even though it is pretty lackluster overall, I know it feels even more so because we had those two amazing cards back-to-back. But let me run through the prelims quickly today, and then I'll give you guys more of my detailed thoughts on the main card. So the first fight of the night is going to be Alessandro Costa versus Kevin Moraes. Hopefully I'm pronunciating that right. I tend to butcher a lot of names with these UFC fighters, so I apologize. But I'm going to take Costa in this one just because he has a little bit more fight experience, but the odds are even, and I think this is even in my head as well. I think this will be an awesome fight. It might even be fight of the night. We'll see, but it's a very, very even fight at 125, and I will be tuning in for that for sure. And then we have Ismail Bonfim versus Vic Pichel. Now, I'm a big fan of the Bonfim brothers. I always bet on them, as you probably should as well. Now, he does have 4 losses, but the Bonfim brothers are just so dynamic, so spectacular, so explosive that I think they're an easy fighter to bet on, and I love watching them fight. Both of them are super, super entertaining to watch. Vic Pichel I'm a little bit less familiar with, but I'm going to pick Bonfim for that one. Then we have Dione Barbosa versus Ernesta Kakakati. I don't know how to say that last name. I apologize, but I'm going to take her. Both of these women, this is going to be their UFC debut. They've both had one fight on the Contender Series, and now they're fighting each other for their UFC debut. I'm going to take Ernesta because she's 25. I think she's 5'9", and she has really heavy hands from what I've seen. So I'm going to be taking a look at her, seeing how she does. And then we have Mauricio Ruffi versus Jamie Malarkey. Now, I'm going to take Malarkey because he's a fun fighter, and he honestly could win any fight. He has the skills and the toughness to win any fight. He does have those 7 losses to Ruffi's 1, but I am a huge fan of Malarkey, and he has a lot of experience, so I'm going to take him in this fight. Then we have Joaquim Silva versus Drakkar Klose. This is another one that's kind of 50-50. If I had to highlight a couple fights to maybe be fight of the night, this would be one of the ones I would highlight because I think this is going to be a very close fight, and I think it's going to be fireworks right from the get-go. I'm probably going to take Klose just because I'm a little bit familiar with him. I've seen a few more of his fights, but this, again, is kind of a 50-50 fight. You can take either fighter in this one. And then getting on to the, I guess, ESPN prelims, we have Jean Silva versus William Gomis. Now, I haven't seen Gomis fight too much. I think I've only seen two of his fights, but he is French, so I'm going to take the French guy. Again, their records are pretty much the exact same, and they have similar-ish fighting styles. Gomis is a little bit more of a striker, whereas Silva has that ground game. So we'll see how this one plays out, but I'm going to take Gomis in this one. And then we have Elvis Brenner versus, I'm not even going to try to say this name. There's just too many letters that shouldn't be next to each other. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but I am going to take this guy. He's 12-1-1. He kind of looks like his head's from Easter Island or something. He's an interesting looking bloke, but I'm going to take this guy because what I've seen so far, he's a handful to deal with. So. And then we have Karolina Kokakevich. I can never say her name properly, but I love her. She's one of my favorite female fighters of all time. She's a little bit over the hill at this point, and I think this other girl, Lucindo, I think she's probably going to be too much for her. She's got pretty heavy hands, and she's pretty violent the way she fights. I think Karolina in her prime would be able to handle this girl, but right now I think she's just a little bit over the hill. I am still cheering for her. I mean, it would be sick to see her pull out a win, but yeah. Moving on, we got Jack Shore versus Honanderson Brito. Now, I'm not the most familiar with Brito, but I do like Jack Shore a lot. He's 17-1. He is a big prospect. I'm going to take him to win this fight, probably by second-round knockout. And, yeah, I'm excited to see what Shore does. And then we have Paul Craig versus Sal Borralho. I think this is the main event for the prelims. I'm not too sure. This could be on the main card. All the websites have different things. You know how it is. Anyways, Paul Craig versus Cal Borralho. Hopefully I'm saying that right. This Cal kid, he's going to be an issue. I believe he's 15-1, and he's on like a 14-fight winning streak. And I think he's like only 25 years old or something like that. He is 31. Sorry, I was a little bit off, but still kind of in his prime there. And he's gonna be a problem for Paul Craig, I think. Now I'm still gonna bet on Paul Craig because of the UFC experience. He's fought in the top guys, and he's just so good on the ground. If this fight does go to the ground, which I think Shao being a black belt might oblige, I do kind of lean Paul Craig for the most part. There's not too many guys on the ground I see beating Paul Craig, so I will pick Paul Craig in this, but do keep an eye on the other guy because I think he's going to be an issue for Paul. And then we get on to the kind of main card here. I think the Paul Craig fight must have been on the main card because now I only have 4 fights to cover, and usually there's 5 on the main card. Somebody can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but anyways, we have Michel Pereira versus Ihor Potieria. Not sure how to say that last name either, but I'm going to take the Ukrainian. Ihor, I think I've seen him fight a couple times now, and I usually cheer for the Ukrainians having some Ukrainian blood in me, so I'm going to take this guy. Pereira, super fun fighter to watch. One of the most fun and exciting fighters in the entire UFC. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys remember that one fight where he was doing backflips and running off the cage and stuff. He is a very exciting fighter. He just tends to be his own worst enemy a lot of the times. I think now in his most recent fights, he's gotten a little bit more focus and a little bit more dialed in to actually, pursuing a belt. So maybe he'll be dialed in enough to knock out Ihor in the first round. We'll see. This should be a very exciting fight, though. And then we have Anthony Smith versus Piotr Perino. And this is the guy, I believe. Yes, this is the guy who's 26 years old, Vitor. He's going to be a problem. He's got heavy hands. Watch out for his hooks. I think he has 2 knockouts from check hooks already, and he's dangerous. I'm not saying he's like the next Pereira, but at 26, heavy hands, he's going to be a problem with Anthony Smith. Sorry, Anthony Smith though, Lionheart, you cannot count him out. Every time he faces a top contender, you think he's going to win, and then he gets absolutely obliterated, and then he faces somebody who you're like, oh, that guy's up and coming, like he's going to beat Anthony Smith, and then he absolutely obliterates that guy. So it's weird. Anthony Smith's career is kind of spotty and all over the place, but I'm going to take Vitor just as the underdog. I hope he gets the upset here over Smith. Then we have Jonathan Martinez versus Jose Aldo. I don't like this fight for Jose Aldo. I'm a big fan of Aldo. I have been for 15 years now, watching him fight in WEC and stuff, and yeah, it's just age, man. Age catches up to you. And Jose Aldo in his last few fights hasn't looked the same. He hasn't been throwing those leg kicks with the same snap and vigor that he did in his youth. So I don't know if he'll be able to pull this one off. I am going to be rooting for him, as I'm sure every single MMA fan will be. But Martinez, he's a dog, man. He's going to make this a very tough fight, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does beat Jose Aldo. I don't know if he'll finish him. I hope not. I hope we don't get that Frankie Edgar run at the end of his career where he just kept getting knocked out and you're just sad every fight. I don't think that'll be Jose Aldo's fate. I think he will make it a really fun fight, but I would, if I had to use my brain here, I probably would bet on Martinez if I wanted to make money, but I will obviously be cheering for Aldo. And then we get into the main event, the one that people are saying, how is this a main event? This is horrible. Why is this headlining UFC 301? It's okay. I'm not honestly the most familiar with Steve Ikrig. He hasn't really fought in anybody. He's fought in a couple good guys, but not really anybody that's super notable or somebody that a casual fan would know. Most casual fans have no idea who this guy is. He's 12-1. Like I said, he's put some good wins together. I guess he deserves this shot. There's just a lot of other guys in the division who, they've already fought in Pantoja or they're injured right now, so there's no better fight to make right now at 125, unfortunately. I would have thought that maybe Dana and the matchmakers would have said, okay, we have such a weak fight here at 125, maybe we need a second title fight for 301. But like I said, we can't be spoiled children. We just got 299 and 300 back-to-back, so we kind of got to take the knee here, I guess. But Pantoja versus Ikrig should still be a fun fight just because Pantoja is electric. Ikrig's coming to win. And, I obviously have Pantoja winning this. Probably by decision. I don't really know. I can't say for sure he's going to stop Ikrig, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to submit him in the first 3 rounds. So yeah, those are my predictions for 301 coming up, I think, this Saturday. This one, I didn't release it quite a month before just because I wasn't too excited about it, as I'm sure a lot of you fight fans aren't the most thrilled about this card. But there are a lot of underrated fights on this card, and every single fight on the card features a Brazilian, so maybe my Brazilian fans out there will be watching this one. But let me know down in the comments, who do you guys have winning each fight? Which fights am I absolutely wrong about? And don't forget to like and subscribe to help boost this channel and the algorithm. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.